Hey friends, it's me, Christiana Gaudet, with a review of this beautiful brand new deck, the Craft Felt Tarot by Gianna Lucci. This is independently published. You can get it on her website. She crowdfunded it very successfully, and now you can get it directly from her, the artist, GiannaLucci.com. The back of the box really tells us a lot about the deck, so let's read it together. The Craft Felt Tarot is a 78-card deck with a unique take on the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith system of tarot, using designs that were created from hand-cut craft felt and then photographed. To accompany the deck is a book of 78 original haiku poems to guide your readings. How cool is that? Okay, so let's see. First of all, box, lift-off lid, very nice, sturdy box. The book, big book, full color. Each card is in the book along with its haiku. And while I don't know, like if you're coming to this deck as your first tarot deck, I think this is a great deck for a beginner. I think you can work with this deck, learn this deck, and go on to work with many, many other tarot decks, having been given a strong tarot foundation with the Craft Felt Tarot. I fully believe this. Will this book help you if you're a beginner? Absolutely, yes. And if you're not a beginner, you're going to love it. But you might also want to look at other tarot books too. But guess what? I would say that to you no matter what kind of accompanying book there was. No matter how detailed a guidebook is, a companion book is, I think you should read other books too. But the haiku, so special. And if you happen to attend StarCon 5 and you went to my presentation, The Universe Speaks in Verse, where I discussed the many connections between divination, magic, and poetry, you will know how much I appreciate a book of haiku to describe a tarot deck. So magical and so good. I love it. All right. So, a good deck for beginners. If you are a Waite reader, you will be able to read with this deck with no time at all. Just pick it up and go. In fact, that's what I did on this YouTube channel. Without looking at it at all, I got on and gave free readings with it, and it went well. You'll see this deck a lot on this channel because it's a beautiful deck and it reads well. Now you can see that the backs are fully reversible. You can see it's a standard size, and the cardstock quality is fabulous. It shuffles easily, feels good in your hand. There is just nothing wrong with this deck. Let's look at some of the images. The moon, the Hierophant, the High Priestess, what an interesting take on the Eight of Swords. One thing you will notice about this deck is it does honor the Waite tradition very well, but Gianna has added some of her own takes, and I think for the most part, they work really well and are really smart. Three of Pentacles. Here's such an example. Eight of Wands. For me, the thing about the Eight of Wands traditionally is you don't know where you're coming from. You don't know where you're going to. Here, we're going toward a target. We know where we're going, which for me, that's a new take. Doesn't bother me. I like it, but I think it's interesting to note. What about this Hanged Man held up by balloons? How cool is that? So one of the things I love about this deck, Six of Wands, one of the things I love about this deck is how clear the images are, how clever they are, and how the fact that it's made of felt does not detract from the artistry. It is the artistry and it works. One of the things I particularly love about it is it gives a 3D feel because of the way the card was created with felt and then photographed, you can sort of feel the image popping up the way layered felt does. And to me, that feels so evocative. It feels like it's inspiring. As the image is coming off the page, so is the energy, and so does that open up the intuition. So I think this is going to be an especially fun deck to read with, because I think it will very clearly evoke intuition. So I recommend this deck really to anyone. If you love tarot, you have to have it in your collection. If you love poetry and tarot, you have to have it in your collection. If you're looking for a really fun, easy deck that is also profound, this deck works. Look at this Seven of Swords. We're at the beach. Why? Because there's that sort of code of honor at the beach that you can leave your stuff in your beach bag, go for a swim, and no one's going to mess with your stuff. But here comes this guy, and he does. It's a fun story. I like it. I like it. So a great deck for beginners. Anyone who reads with a weight system already is going to dive into this no problem. Here's the Fool. This was the one card I couldn't figure it out, but it's smart because who's the Fool in this deck? We are. We don't see the Fool, and I don't know if this is why Gianna did it that way or not, but in my mind, what I'm going to say about it is we ourselves are walking this path, because that's what the Fool is, isn't it? It's each one of us on our journey, and that really says it. Ten of Wands. I'm good with the Ten of Wands because we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So, Craft Felt Tarot by Gianna Lewis. Brand new deck. I absolutely love it. I have, I'll quibble with one of the cards or two because I always do with any deck, but I think it's brilliant. I think it's smart. I think it's well executed. And one of the things I like most about is this. One of the things about it I like most is this. I think most of us played with craft felt when we were kids. Like there is something about that concept of working with felt that really taps into my inner child, and I think it might yours as well. And yet, these beautiful, playful images are deep and profound. So it is this great marriage of joyful childhood creativity and deep, profound, evocative artwork all together in this deck. And I think that at best, that's what tarot is. We approach tarot with childlike joy and wonder and deep contemplation. And I think a lot of deep contemplation went into creating this deck, and you can feel it. It's playful, it's fun, it's deep. Wherever you are in your tarot journey, I think you may really enjoy this deck, and you can get it at GiannaLucci.com.